Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about Tia Mowry. No, you know what? I've been pronouncing her name wrong, y'all. I think it's Tia Mowry. Tia Mowry, not Tia Mowry. Just like Mo, M-O-W, mow the lawn, Mowry. So we're here to talk about Tia Mowry, her show, The Next Act, season 1. We're on episode 2, y'all. We are on episode 2. And so far, I'm liking her little show. She's doing a good job of keeping it entertaining. She got a couple of friends on here who's also keeping the laughs coming. It don't mean I feel any less sorry for her. It doesn't even mean that she isn't any more lost and confused than I said last week. She is. She absolutely is lost and confused, y'all. And nothing has changed. Nothing changed. In fact, it got worse this week. To be honest with you, it has gotten worse this week. Because just like my thumbnail said, this time Tia told us she looking for a roughneck, a bad boy with tattoos. This girl done left a whole marriage so she could sleep with, because that's really what she wants, to sleep with a roughneck, a bad boy with a lot of tattoos. Girl, Tia was bored in her marriage. Tia was bored in her marriage. Y'all, there wasn't no real big problems. I know a lot of people trying to come up with a whole lot of big problems why she left Corey. She was tired of paying the bills, this and that and this and that. And that's not the truth. Because on this show, we're going to see her dating some people that ain't got money. Because when a woman is tired of dating a man who's broke and ain't got no money, what they tend to go for is like, I'm only going to date a man with a lot of money. But Tia on here, not concentrating on money. She concentrating on what? Looks. She's concentrating on looks. She's concentrating on, I want a bad boy with a little bit of edge, with tattoos and muscles. She was just bored, y'all. And it's crazy because, you know what? Boredom happens in a lot of marriages. A lot of marriages have to figure out ways to spice it up. You know, you get a little moment where maybe things aren't as hot as spicy as used to be. What can we do to spice it up? And what Tia did was Tia stayed in that funk for a long time. And they never could figure how to get it out. I mean, they both actors and actresses. Couldn't they role play? Couldn't Corey go out, get some fake tattoos, and play a bad boy in the bedroom? I mean, look at that movie he just did with Tyler Perry. He acted like a whole fool on that show. Between these two actors and actresses, I don't understand why they just couldn't role play. Because on this episode, y'all, Tia even says, maybe I made a mistake coming back out in these streets, because she really thought it was going to be that easy to go back in the streets and find a guy who's going to treat her nice, be kind to her. I don't know, maybe have money like you guys think that one of the reasons why, but be a bad boy with tattoos and have a little bit of edge. Tia girl, she's so confused, y'all. She's so confused and lost. And now I know even why she's more confused, because when I was doing my thumbnail, I couldn't figure out what my title was going to be, because you guys know I retitle all my videos. And I was like, okay, I really wanted to retitle it Bad Advice. Tia begins some bad advice. Let me tell you, married women, you better not hang around a lot of single women. Don't hang around a lot of single women, because they be giving some bad advice sometimes about certain things when it's going, if they've never been married, not single women, but married women, single women who've been married before, they know what marriage looks like, right? So they're able to maybe say some things to you because they've seen it before. They know what it looks like. That's why when Tia was saying she was tired of putting on an act, everyone was thinking her marriage was perfect. I kept saying, well, who would be thinking your marriage is perfect? The only people who could be thinking Tia's marriage was perfect would be single people who've never been married. Because any person who's ever been married can never look at anyone else's relationship and think it's perfect. Once you're married, you realize that no relationship is perfect. So there is no way a married person could have ever looked at Tia's relationship and thought it was perfect. So for Tia to say she was tired of people thinking her marriage was perfect, I was like, she's got to be talking about single people that have never been married. Because there ain't a married person on earth walking around who would think that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And let me tell you why I think it was bad advice from some of these single ladies. because the advice they were giving her on this show was horrible advice. At one point in time, Tia's going to be going, I really need to get in the show. This is a long introduction. But at one time, they told Tia, when you go on a date, one of the questions you need to ask the person is, are you intimidated by my status? I was like, what? That's a horrible question. You're telling Tia to go on a date. And one of the things she should ask for the guy is, are you intimidated by my status? This was the friend's advice. Are these the same friends that probably advised her, girl, yeah, if you've been miserable for 2 years, maybe you ought to divorce him? They should have told her you need to do some role playing. That's what they should. Maybe Corey could have got one tattoo. And maybe, hey, y'all do some role playing. Maybe Corey should have just treated her bad for a whole week. Man, I don't know. I don't know what it is, because the things that this girl is coming up with what she wants post-divorce, I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But let's get into the show. That was a long introduction. Let's get into the show. It starts off with Tia now saying, like I said before, she is 2 years past the time when she took off her wedding ring. 2 years. Okay. So we're not talking about 6 months, 7 months, a year, 2 years. She's boo-hooing over it. She's putting the ring back on. And you know why she's putting the ring back on is because she hasn't gotten to the happy place she thought she'd be. Tia really thought that she would get divorced when she was miserable, and within a certain amount of time, she would be happy. She's flabbergasted. Tia's like, I don't really get this. I knew I was unhappy being married, and I thought really my whole problem was my husband. And so I thought that once I got divorced, I would be in my happy place. And what Tia's really crying over, y'all, she's crying over the fact that I think she really underestimated what she did. And like she said later on, she said, I'm starting to think maybe I made a mistake. You made a mistake, girl. You made a mistake. But I think it's going to be too hard to go back. I really do think it's going to be too hard to go back, because now Corey's moved on with his life. And he's pretty much saying, I might as well just go get me another woman too. Oh my God. So anyway, she's got this wedding band, beautiful wedding ring, beautiful wedding band. And she says she wants to turn the wedding band into something special for her children. Now, I don't know about this. I know there's a tradition, like, let's say a mother was married and the father passed away. And then the wedding ring from the mother, she passes it down to her daughter. There's a tradition of passing down wedding rings to daughters. But I don't know if you pass down a divorce wedding ring. I thought the wedding is supposed to be kind of like a blessing. Like, this wedding band served me and your daddy well for 50 years. We was married. And now I'm going to bless you with it and pass it down to you. Do you really want to wear a wedding ring for a marriage that Tia talked about? She's glad to be from out up under. I don't know. So she's gonna turn the diamonds into jewelry for her son. For her son, she's gonna make a dog tag, and I guess it's gonna have maybe a diamond in it. And then she's gonna take another part of the diamond, and she's gonna make a bracelet for the daughter. Why don't she just turn it into jewelry for herself? I don't know why she's wrapping her kids up into her divorce like this. Once again, Tia can't be alone. Tia can't be alone. She can't stand alone. This is another example of where instead of Tia going alone on this divorce, right? This was your choice, Tia. You chose to get a divorce. You chose to leave the man. You chose to do something different than to work on the marriage, role play, put on some fake tattoos, get some henna tattoos. You chose to do all this. And now that you're lonely and you're afraid and you're sad in this world of divorce by yourself, and this ring symbolizes that the marriage is over, what you decide to do is, I'm going to chop up the ring and I'm going to give it to all you guys so you have a little bit of my divorce. Why everybody got to be in your divorce with you, Tia? Tia can't do nothing by herself. Nothing. She needs company. She needs company in her misery. So let me break up this diamond ring that I'm crying over, and let y'all carry it around with you too. Why? If the ring makes you cry looking at it, Tia, why would you want to give it to me so I can wear it running around? Girl, She told a sweet story about how when Corey really proposed to her, it was on December 25th, Christmas Day in 2006. He got down on one knee and proposed to her in front of her family. I bet Corey even asked her dad for her hand in marriage. She said he proposed to some Jagged Edge song. I don't know which one it is. Which song is it? I bet it's a popular song. What's a Jagged Edge song? Jagged Edge, what, like a love song? What y'all think it is? How I Love You? Oh, Let's Get Married, maybe? Oh, probably Let's Get Married. That's probably the Jagged Edge song. Probably it's Let's Get Married. So I guess maybe that's how he proposed. It sounds actually really, really sweet, y'all. I'm not going to lie. Tia had a fairy tale life. And the thing about a person who lives in a fairy tale, after a while, they want to get out of their fairy tale and they want to experience what all these other women are complaining about. And when I say fairy tale, it wasn't fairy tale in that she didn't have ups and downs. And like I said, her marriage is not perfect. That's not what I'm calling a fairy tale. But in relation to what a lot of women have experienced in relationships, Tia didn't experience any of that. Like she said, Corey was her first. She didn't get run through by men. She didn't get dogged out by men. She didn't get cheated on by 5, 6 different men. She didn't have a bunch of liars, boyfriends. She didn't have a bunch of baby mama drama. She didn't have what she hears out here on the street. And so Tia has somehow developed that she's missed something. She missed something. It's almost like a person who doesn't really count their blessings. You know what I mean? Anybody know a child who grew up, let's say middle class, upper middle class, had everything that they ever wanted. Parents provided everything. But then that child would pick friends that were ghetto, out of their socioeconomic level, like a whole different class of people. You guys ever know someone like that? Like imagine a girl from a certain type of neighborhood, a girl who had both parents in the house, a girl who had everything she ever wanted, a girl who was spoiled, a girl, really, right? All these things that a lot of people would want. And then that girl decides, you know what? I don't like what I have. I feel guilty for what I have, or whatever it is about her. She starts to seek out the dark side. So she starts to hang around people that are really nothing like her. And that's what Tia's trying to do now. Tia's really trying to hang out with a bunch of men that are really not like her. But here's what Tia's going to run into. Those men are not going to really want Tia. Tia wants those bad boys, but are those bad boys really going to want this straight-laced Tia? Because Tia's kind of straight-laced too. Let's be honest. And really what she's going to get, I think what's going to happen to Tia is she's going to just get some battle scars out here. She didn't have none before. She's just going to go out here and get run over. She's going to run out here and get run over. Man, I just don't. Tia, girl. Tia. And like I said, a lot of bad advice. This assistant she got is a young girl. And Tia's a 47-year-old woman taking advice from this 20-something-year-old assistant. Every advice this assistant had is bad advice. Bad advice. So the first advice the assistant had is, we gotta go out on some dates. We gotta get you back on the dating app. And Tia said that the minute she got divorced, she went immediately and got back on the dating apps. So that tells you that Tia, soon as she got divorced, she went right out seeking to jump into a relationship with someone else. Someone else. She didn't even give herself a time of break. I was thinking that this was the first time Tia was going to start dating. But no, Tia told us this episode that as soon as she got divorced, she immediately went on the dating apps, and she said it was such an epic fail, she had to get off real quickly. Like I said, Tia went to a party. She ain't used to going to them type of parties. She went. She used to hear about these parties. Oh, I really would want to go to one of them parties. She goes to these parties of the single world, dating on the dating apps. She gets into the environment, and now all of a sudden she realizes she's in over her head, and immediately she runs and hides. That's what she did. That's what she did. Soon as she got in that world, she all of a sudden realized she was a fish out of water. She retreated and said, oh my goodness, I'm not prepared for this world. And that is probably when all the depression set in. Because remember, Tia was banking on the fact that when she left Corey, she was going to be able to enter the dating world real fast, find a guy, find exactly what she was looking for, be treated nice, have a great time, and all was going to end well. And what happened was she got a divorce, she executed her plan, she went into the dating world, and boom, epic fail. And now she retreats, and now she says, wow, I miscalculated. I completely miscalculated. And now she's regrouping. Then she had to regroup because she realized her plan failed. What she thought was going to happen, what she thought divorce would look like, what she thought the dating world was going to look like, it looked nothing like that. She didn't do any homework. What she did was she listened to a bunch of people who probably lied to her. And probably the girls were lying to her that their world was so great because maybe they did think Tia's world was great. You see, when she says people thought her marriage was perfect, there were probably single girlfriends around her who thought, Tia, you have everything we would want to have. And maybe those girlfriends didn't feel good telling Tia how really bad the single life was because they didn't want to look bad in front of Tia because they thought Tia's life was perfect. You see, a lot of people only like to share stories when they think you can relate to their stories, right? And so maybe her single girlfriends didn't think Tia could relate. And so they really never told Tia the truth. Instead, what they told Tia were these salacious stories. Girl, I met this guy. Ooh, he's so fine. He got tattoos. He got muscles. And girl, he was putting it down in the bedroom. Those single girlfriends were speaking about all the good parts about being single, stuff they enjoyed, but they really weren't telling her all the bad parts. And so Tia's hearing all these stories. She's like, ooh, I really wish I could have some of that fun and excitement. My marriage is boring. We have the same old sex, the same kind of way. We got a routine. I know everything Corey's going to do because I know him so well. I've been with him for 22 years. I know everything he's going to do. I know when he's going to get up. I know when he's going to shit. I know when he's going to do this. I know when he's going to do that. It's so predictable. I'm bored. But look at y'all's life. It's so full of excitement. Look at all these places you're going, events you're going to, people you're meeting. And what these girlfriends weren't telling her was all the other bad stuff. Because I'm telling you, Tia wasn't talking to no married women. Married women would have told her, girl, you just need to do some role playing. You just need to figure out how to spice it up. I don't know what you need to do. But let me tell you, those streets ain't got nothing for you. They don't have nothing for you. And now she's out here getting bad advice from 20-something, 30-something-year-old women, and she's 47 years old. Wow, really bad advice. So not only are they putting her on the dating app, Raya, which is supposed to be a dating app where they have sort of like high-end guys, people who want to be a little bit more, men who want to be a little bit more inconspicuous, that, they don't want everybody to see them. We talk about how Simone Biles and her husband met on Raya. It's supposed to be more like that. And so they go on Raya to sort of meet men, and what they tell her is, we're going to manage your whole account. Another bad advice. So they say, we're going to have you put up a dating app, but we're going to manage your advice. So basically they're going to catfish all the men. That's not going to go well. So you have men who are supposed to be high end. First of all, let's say they're high end. They're high end men. And what you're going to do is you're going to come in with these two women, right? These two frivolous, I'm not going to call them frivolous, but they're not a professional agency, okay? They're just your girlfriends. And you're going to have them fake communicate with men on your dating app. Fake communicate, basically catfishing men. And then you're going to set those men up to come and meet you. And then those men are going to come and they're going to meet your friends. So your representation, your first introduction to this man who's supposed to be a high-end man, is going to be that you catfished him and you tricked him and you bamboozled him and you lied to him. And this is supposed to be good advice. This is good dating advice. It's not good dating advice. And she went along with it. I'm telling you, she has been getting very bad advice, and she goes along with the bad advice because she went along with it here. And that's why I know why she's really not talking to her sister, because her sister was probably trying to give her advice from a married woman. And instead, Tia wanted to listen to the advice from these single ladies, giving her a whole lot of bad advice. Bad advice. When you go on a date, ask the man, are you intimidated by me? Oh gosh. Catfish the man, lie to him up front. Let us fake pretend like we're you. And they said they had fun doing it. Oh, it's so good pretending we're Tia. There you go. it's good pretending we're Tia MOWRY. Did I say her name right? We're Tia MOWRY in the world. You see what I'm saying? So they get to live like they're you on your dating app, but you're the one paying the price, Tia. Just like your marriage. Your girlfriends got to orchestrate your life, tell you what to do with your life, but you're the one now who has to really live that life. So here they are behind the scenes using your dating app, pretending they're you, setting up dates, going to meet men that probably would have never swiped on them. Okay, here's an opportunity for ladies to meet men that men would have never swiped on them because they're not Tia MOWRY or MOWRY. They're not her. So now they get to go meet these men in person. They taking pictures, asking questions, lousy questions. What's your sign? Bad advice, y'all. They are up here asking, what's your sign? And this is the advice she's getting from single women to help her find a new man. Tia said that her parents told her she couldn't date before she was 18 years old. And what they taught her was to date to get married. That's good advice. That's good advice. But now Tia's over here acting like it was bad advice. She said, yeah, when I was growing up, I was a military daughter. And all of my parents taught me was to date to get married. We're like, yeah, that's what you should do. And Tia's like, I don't want to do that more. I just want to date to be out here in these streets now. I just want to date to be out here in these streets. Tia, go talk to some women who dated like what you're about to date now. And what you'll find is a lot of those women are now 50 years old who said, I need to start dating differently. I'm over here reviewing the show Queen's Court, Lisa Ray. How do you date? Do you date to date a man who's suitable for marriage, or do you date a guy just out here to have fun while you hot and you cute? And then as you get older and your looks start to fade, then when you get 50 years old or 52 years old or whatever else, now all of a sudden you're trying to date for marriage. For 40 something years, you dated just to have a good time, or you dated on things like, does he have muscles? What's his sign? Does he have money? And that didn't work out well for these women. And now when they're 50 something years old, they all of a sudden decide, now I want to date for marriage. I want to become a born again, a virgin, and close up my womb. And Tia's over here doing the opposite. Her parents taught her to date for marriage. And now she's saying, I don't want to do that no more. I want to do like the other ladies. I want to date out here just to have some good time. Girl, why didn't y'all just role play? I really don't get it. Tyler Perry could have written y'all a script and you guys could have played out a different role in your bedroom every single night. And it would have been nothing. She talking about she never been alone in life. And she says everybody out here is talking about self-love and self-love is important. But what's wrong with wanting a partner? Ain't nothing wrong, Tia. That's what we're trying to ask you. What's wrong with having a partner? You left your partner. And now she's over here asking her single friends, what was so wrong? What's so wrong with me wanting a partner? What's so wrong with me wanting someone to hold and someone to hold me? That's what I'm saying, Tia. You was talking to the wrong people. You was talking to single people who are still in denial if they want a partner. It's okay if a lot of single people don't want a partner. That's fine. But there's a lot of people out here who do want a partner, but are trying to pretend like they don't want one. And that's who Tia was talking to. That's who Tia was talking to. And Tia didn't have enough of her own knowing of who she is to sort of be friends with a person, but not lose herself in those people. Tia loses herself in people. And maybe that's how she felt she lost herself in her marriage, because I see here she's actually losing herself in her friendships. She's becoming what her friends are, as opposed to saying, I can be friends with people but still stay who I am. Tia, oh girl, Tia doesn't need to be dating. Tia needs to figure out who she inherently is, because right now she is losing herself in friendships. She is losing herself in marriages and relationships, and she's becoming a person that's really not the best for her. And the advice isn't really suited for her. This one friend of hers named Natasha. I mean, I know Natasha probably means well, but Tasha got some bad dating advice. Even when Tasha was over here grilling these men, she was horrible on dates. horrible on dates, and this is your representative, Tia? This girl was horrible on dates. She said when she broke up with her last boyfriend, I don't know if she was married or not, she said she was single for 9 years. But she said she got a boyfriend now. She does say she has a boyfriend now, but she was single for a whole 9 years. Girl. And this is who Tia is listening to. And this is who Tia has representing her on dates. Tia said she thinks she might have made a mistake getting divorced. And the girlfriend, Natasha, said, girl, no, you didn't. You thought about this for years. This girlfriend said, no, you didn't. You thought about this for years. Why didn't her friend ask her, really? Really? Why did she explore that? Say, let's talk about that. Do you think you made a mistake? Why do you think you made a mistake? Instead, what that girlfriend did was push her right past and say, no, you didn't make no mistakes. You thought about this for years. Tia, girl, you need some new friends. You need some new friends. I'm telling you, these friends you got right now, I don't know if they're just for TV or what, but they're not going to be the friends that help you find a long-lasting relationship. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're not the friends for that. And it's not that they're bad women. They're not that they're bad girls. They just have bad advice. Maybe they have good intentions, but it's just really, really, really bad advice. And then they go out and they meet these men. One of the men that they were meeting, y'all, I swear, this man, I believe he was the guy from, remember that show any of you was watching with me called The One? His name is Phil. I don't even know how he got on Raya. Raya must be lowering their standards because he was on here, and I believe he was on that reality TV show, The One. I can't remember. I watched so many reality TV shows. I think it was The One, called The One with Kirk Franklin and Tammy Franklin. And he was on there. And then she also had a date with this other guy who was pissed. He was so pissed that they catfished him. He says, I'm a busy person. I make money. My business is my money. And here you guys brought me here for this date under false pretenses trying to catfish me. He was not happy. He was not happy one bit. He was pissed off and he showed it to him. And then they had the nerve to get an attitude with him. He had an attitude, all right, but he deserved to have an attitude. And when he had an attitude, these ladies had an attitude with him. Go figure. They catfished him. They lied to him. They brought him here under false pretenses. And then when he was mad and pissed off and had an attitude with them, they had an attitude with him. Girl, Tia, these are your representatives. This is bad. It is really, really bad. I didn't know that Tia had a hair care line. So she has a hair care line out. So maybe the show will help her promote it for curly hair. Let's pump up her business because she got 2 kids to take care of. And she ain't got no husband no more. But then she starts talking about how busy she is. And then she says, wow, it's really hard raising 2 kids, running a business, having kids. And then I'm supposed to squeeze in dating too. Yes, Tia. You didn't think about this? You didn't think about the idea when you were sitting over there complaining to your husband that you guys didn't have enough date nights. Your marriage wasn't sexy enough. It wasn't living on the edge enough. It wasn't enough risk to it. You wasn't thinking to yourself, yeah, I want to get another man and then I'm going to have a whole lot of time to do all these things with this other man. Girl, just because you get divorced don't make the day longer. Tia act like because she got a divorce, she gets more than 24 hours in the day. I didn't have no time during my marriage to spice up my marriage. That's how it got dull and boring because we had so many other duties like raising kids, running businesses, acting careers. I didn't have no time to spice up my marriage. But when I get this divorce, I'm going to have a whole lot of time. And now she realized she got less time. Less time. It would have been a whole lot less time, Tia, role playing with that man you had, putting on some henna tattoos, having him throw you around the bedroom a little bit than what you're doing right now. It would have been a whole lot less time. But no, this is what she wanted. She out here meeting these men. These men ain't no men that she would be interested in. Not one bit whatsoever. One of the men got on there and said, they asked him, why'd you break up with your last girlfriend? He said, because of an abortion. She said, she killed my kids. And was that she kept the white kids, but she killed the black kid. Oh, goodness. This is what you look forward to, Tia. This is what you got to look forward to. And then the guy that was mad, the guy that they were mad at because he was there and he was upset. And he was upset that they catfished him and brought him here and Tia wasn't even here. They said, well, how do you feel about dating a woman with 2 kids? He says, I'm not interested in doing it. They were like, what? But it's Tia MOWRY. He goes, I don't care. I don't want a woman with kids. Woo, woo, woo. Tia, girl. Another obstacle. Now you got to find a man that's going to also want to be a stepdaddy to your 2 kids. And you got a young one. You got a 5-year-old. Tia, how old is Tia? How old is Tia, y'all? I got to figure out how old Tia is. How old is Tia? How old is Tia? Tia's 46, y'all. 46 years old, and she has a daughter that's 5 years old. So they got her up here. They got here up here pre-screening 33, 34, 35-year-old man, young man, who still might want to have kids. So imagine this: you're 47, you got 2 kids, Tia. You have a young daughter. A lot of men who may be attracted to you may be older than you, which means now you're talking about men who are 50 years old. 50 years old, their kids are grown. A lot of their kids are grown. They started having kids back when they was in their 20s, maybe even 30s. Their kids are grown. They out. They gone. Now you're going to have to, what, a 50-year-old man that wants to date a woman with a 5-year-old? I know you Tia MOWRY, but girl. Then what? You're going to go younger? You're going to go with the younger guys? You're going to go from 47 down to 36, 37? Those guys might still want to have children. Do you still want to have any? Well, that psychic did say you was going to have a child, so I think maybe you would have a bonus child. Maybe he's already going to have a child. He doesn't want any more, and you'll have a blended family. That's going to be your option. I guess that could be your option. A younger man who wants an older woman, he already has children, doesn't want any more children. There you go. There you go. And his kids are young too, so he doesn't mind you having a 5-year-old. Tia, you really underestimate. Tia didn't think this out, y'all. Tia did not think this out. It's sad, but her show, I'm telling you, is still a little bit entertaining. But it's sad that she done made a wreck of this. She done made a wreck of it. I hope she can pull it together. I hope she can turn this Titanic ship around, because I'm telling you. But she gonna need some better advice, because I'm telling you, these friends are giving her some bad advice. It's a train wreck. This is some bad advice. Bad advice. But anyway, that's all I got today. Y'all, please don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment. And thank you, everybody who made the premiere. I'm so glad y'all made it. And I will talk to you later. Bye.